Hey, how's it going? I hope your day's going well while you're watching this video. This video is just going to be a quick guide as to imprint my knowledge of me playing thousands of games as Russia, top tier, so that way I can help other players that might be struggling or finding it difficult to play Russia top tier. Now, let's get started with this video. First things first, I just want to make a breakdown as to what are the best tanks for Russia. You kind of have these two tiers of tanks. First, you have the turbine engine tanks, and then you have the diesel engines. Basically, essentially, the T80B, T80U, T80BVM, and the T80UK are all turbine engines, and they have a distinct advantage over the diesel engines. And that big advantage is the fact that overall they're faster and they're more maneuverable, but they do have a bigger reverse gear. Now, I know 11 kilometers reverse isn't great, but it's better than -4 that, for example, the T72B3 has. And you notice the difference once you play these turbine tank engines. So my recommendation, if you're playing top tier Russia, try to play with these turbine engines instead. Of course, I'm not saying pick the T80B over the T72B3, but your pick should be T80BVM, T80U, and then if you have the T72B3, go with that. And then T90 should be like last pick, since I'd say this is arguably the worst Russian top tier tank that you can pick. Now, also another distinct advantage that they have way more armor. There's nothing that's going to pen these turrets. Absolutely nothing. And their upper front plates, the only weak spot is that driver's port that you see there. Whereas I've been upper front plated around these angles here. There's not a lot of armor here. A 2A6 can pen these easily. Now, moving on to the next thing. What I see a lot of Russian players do is they carry full ammo. And honestly, you shouldn't be carrying full ammo in Russian tanks. You're giving the enemy more of a chance or more ways to take you out. Now, I know it's counterintuitive because you need ammo to kill tanks in War Thunder, which is a given. But I might recommend doing this while you're playing. Let's say the next 10 games that you play, whatever Russian tank you pick, try to remember how much ammo you have when you die. And what this will do is it'll signify whether or not you're carrying too much ammo or too little. Personally, when I play, I only take no more than 12 rounds into a match. And what that means, it's 1 in the barrel and 11 in the ammo carousel. With these ammo carousels, the turbine ones can carry 28, but the majority of them carry 22, like the diesel engine ones, for example. But when you take out only 12 rounds with 1 in the barrel, that means that there's only 11 in the ammo carousel. Now, Russian tanks are notorious for having their turrets flying off and being ammo racked. But the benefit of carrying less ammo means that there's less of a chance for you to be ammo racked. And let me show you here. When you carry only 11 rounds, you can see that the ammo is only stored on the right hand side of the tank. And this is very important. As you look at the front, where the upper hull is, you see that there's fuel tanks by the driver. On the left hand side of the tank, there's only 1 fuel tank. On the right hand side of the driver, there's going to be 2 fuel tanks. So whenever you're playing, let's say you're holding around a corner, you always want to be aiming from your right hand side, because if a dart enters this tank, it's going to have to go through 2 fuel tanks plus the lack of ammo on the left hand side of your tank. So let's say most nader players are, I guess, conditioned to shoot your lower front plate. They're going to shoot your lower front plate and they're not going to hit any ammo. And they're going to call like that the T80 BVM is glitched or whatever. But this will mean that you'll survive this shot and you'll be able to shoot them back. Now, I know it might be concerning because you'll only have 12 rounds, but that's okay, because the glorious thing about Russia is that if you lose one tank, you can spawn in another tank. That's how it works. Now, here's another tip that I might recommend. If you find yourself missing shots and you're ultimately either over aiming or under aiming targets, so for example, should have stayed in test drive. So let's say like you're in a scenario and someone surprises you and they peek around a corner or they come over a hill or they get the drop on you, right? One thing that you might be finding is, let's say this Leo 2, or this Leopard, sorry, peeks over the hill and I'm aiming and I accidentally shoot over it, right? This will mean that your sensitivity is too high. Or, for example, if you're turning to shoot him and you accidentally shoot, you under aim, this means your sensitivity is too low. Now, what I might recommend doing is if you go to controls, sensitivity, you need to change this around to better fit your needs. Now, one thing that you can do, now you may be wondering how to find the right sensitivity for you. And ultimately, I've been doing this with every game that I play. You should only be moving in increments of half to find the right sensitivity for you. So let's say you're originally at 25%. Well, when you want to move by half, let's say you move to 12.5%, because that's what they based their numbers off by percentiles in War Thunder. So this was too fast. So you move to this, and you're finding this is kind of slow for you. Well, now you had a point A, and now this is your point B. You want to move to point C, which is in between these two, which I think is 18.75 or something like that, which is the half of the in between these two. Let's say you do 18.75. All of a sudden, your sensitivity is a little bit too fast for you still. You want to move in between point B and point C. In this case, you would make a point D, or attack the D point, I should say. Now, point D might be the right sensitivity for you. So what's the difference is 6.75 should be, or 6.25 should be like 15.625, I think is going to be the half of this. And let's say this is the perfect sensitivity for you, right? Or let's say you say the sensitivity is too slow. Now you want to move from point D to point F because you want to move in between these two. Ultimately, you should be moving in halves and no more than halves. If something comes too slow, move half of what you changed to the right, so it'd be a little bit faster, basically like I described here. Once you make this change of sensitivity, I guarantee you'll find that you'll be aiming at targets much more effectively. Because you should never be in a scenario where you're over aiming a target or you're under aiming a target. You basically want to be dragging so that way you can always hit the target accurately when you're presented with a scenario that you're surprised by. Now, in terms of sensitivity, that's done with. The next best thing is kind of more of like you have to play to understand or to experience. The next one is game knowledge. What I mean by that is you have to play the game to also understand like the weak spots of tanks. So like, for example, if let's say you're facing an Abrams tank, like one of my friends has this problem where he doesn't really realize where to shoot the tank from far away. Like he shoots in the center and like he only hits the engine. Realistically, like you want to aim where the driver is, so that way by the time the shot gets there, it hits the center of the tank. You always want to hit center of where the turret is, so you can kill all 3 crew members in one shot, so you take them out. Same thing with the Leo. Lower front plate is where the extra ammo goes. You want to destroy them. Shoot where the front of the turret is, and by the time the shot gets there, it'll be dead center, side on into the turret. That's how you kill Leo tanks. And the same thing with NATO tanks, right? The other one is, I'm going to play a battle here so I can show you. The other one is, this is very important, is understanding where the enemy is going to be on each map. You can use this knowledge because Russian tanks are much faster, they're much lighter, they have access to their turbine engines. They can get to a location sooner than most other tanks, and you can use that to your advantage to get the first shot off or to pre-aim at a corner. Let's see what map we get here. Okay, so for example, this one. I know for a fact that this line right here I can get to it before other tanks. So I'm going to spawn right. I'm going to rush ahead around F6, I think it is. Yeah, F6. I'm going to pre-aim this corner, or I can pre-aim the other line here, which is right here that you can see. This line, you can see, if you peek around this, hold this line, generally tanks who are going to B will be somewhere around here. Hopefully we'll be lucky and people are going to be trying to cap B. And don't be scared about being aggressive as Russia. Russia has this, their tanks aren't good IRL, but their tanks are really good in War Thunder because morale and stuff like that doesn't affect the crew. Now, of course, the tanks are lower profile, they have more armor, they're harder to hit their weak spots, but they're really good in terms of being aggressive with. And of course, the benefit of Russian tanks is they do get access to that Gen 2 thermals. So like I said here, I'm going to peek around this corner. Hold this right here, pre-aim. And we should see not Russian tanks, we should see enemy tanks trying to go into B. If not, then we can move over to the right lane and we should see tanks over there. Also, check what kind of enemy that you're going to be playing against. There you go. There's the striker. That's the first kill there. But always check to see what your enemy is, because players from different nations play differently. Like NATO tanks generally like to camp and stuff like that. There's also one at B. Okay, we got our one kill here. I don't see any other tanks coming through here, so we're going to flank and hold C for the team. But to be able to play aggressively as I am, please, I implore you, there's two things that you really need to do. Do that sensitivity check, go by halves, and then run with the amount of ammo that you see that I'm doing, or like I said, play 10 games and then find out, I think that's a tank right in front of me. Play 10 games and find out how much ammo you're sitting with. Okay, there's another tank. I think I hear something to my left. Yeah, I hear several tanks to my left. I'm playing very aggressive here. I know I'm going to get shot in the back possibly, but the chance for being able to flank the enemy is pretty huge here. Okay, that guy's dead. There's another one in front of me, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm not worried that I missed that guy because he has a NATO hump, of course. And he's gone. Alright, there's two targets attacking B. Since we know that they're camping, we might be able to get some artillery shots off. And there's one behind me. Oh, that's okay. So you can see how aggressively I played. I had like, what, 6 rounds left. I didn't die by an ammo rack. Now, since this is more about ground battles, I'll stick to not flying a helicopter here. So now we know... Oh, there you go. An artillery kill right there. Now that we know that there's one by that lane that we just pushed, and there's 2 or 3 by B. And you can see how fast the turbine tanks are. They can go over hills better than the diesel ones. Plus they have that better reverse speed. Okay, that was quite eventful. I just double check to see that there's no one holding this lane. I also lost my 50 cal that I need to repair. See, that guy died to a type 10, either from his left from B or they're watching this angle. Oh yeah, they're watching that angle, okay. Let's just drop some arty over there. Of course, the one downside of these turbine tanks, except for the BVM, is they all have Gen 1 thermals, but if you can kind of get used to that, the benefits that you gain from the extra armor, the turbine engine, the better reverse speed, all really makes a difference. Especially the BVM that has the relic armor, which makes it way more armorable than any other Russian tank. Okay, let's repair a tank real quick here.
Most of the zones are under control.
That has to be the Leo player. Alright, so they have some AA up. I thought I heard an enemy. I hear one to the right. I'm not sure if that's a Type 10 or if that's the Russian T80 UK on our team. CCLV, okay. So they're pushing into our spawn slowly. See if we can flank around them. One thing that you can also use to your advantage is that players generally do not like turning and going to the other cap zones. What they like to do is they push in a straight line. You can use that to your advantage. I hear Bradley. Or is that a Puma? Yeah, it's a Puma, never mind. Like I said, aim where the driver is. You can hit the center of the crew. But if they are farther away, just aim dead center and you'll be no problems there. Now I know that there was a CCVL somewhere around here. I think he might have died. It looks like we might lose this match since a lot of our teammates have been leaving, which is okay. Since we ended up cleaning around 4 tanks, I don't think there's going to be anyone left on this flank here. STRV 122. Okay, that was somewhere behind us, I'm pretty sure. Okay, that guy just got ammo racked. Either he's right behind me or to the right. Yeah, he's to the right. Okay, there we go. We avenged our Russian tanks, or teammates I should say, comrades. Yeah, I heard something last second too. Okay, so we so far have 7 kills, which is not bad. Let's see if we can make a bigger impact on our team by playing some air. Also, having combined arms is very important in this game, for the simple fact that well, let's see if we can kill this guy. There we go. Okay. Combined arms is very important, so I would say like always try to have a helicopter. I know that they got rid of air-to-air helicopter battles, which makes it much harder to grind, in my opinion at least. There's something else up here. I know that the packs are on sale. I might buy the SU-25K. If you want a good vehicle that's... I cannot find this person. Ah, there you are. Okay.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I honestly think we're gonna lose this, unfortunately, which is okay. But yeah, combined arms is very important. Try to always have a plane or something that you can use to take into the air once you're done. I think that's a recon drone. This guy's shooting at. There's another one. Yeah, mate, I've been trying to say this statement for 3 times in a row. Have combined arms. Always have a plane if you can. Helicopters, I would say, are more effective, especially the Russian ones with their Vickers missiles. But yeah, having that ability to do some air and have a higher impact into your team. Honestly, I think this is kind of unlucky. Yeah, we had a lot of teammates that didn't get a kill, which is okay. So you win some and you lose some. It's another helicopter? No, that's a recon drone. Ah, it's a shame. I don't know if I want to keep on spawning here. I think I'll just be tossing tanks. Yeah, so that's basically it. You saw how I played. Like I said, I spawned in on the right side. I went around this building right here. I looked over here, which I know that tanks who want to go to B, they'll be taking this path essentially, right? This line here. You can sometimes spot those tanks or that person, that striker that peeked around the corner. Once you're done aiming here, either you can go Cat B, for example, or you can watch this angle and stop any tanks pushing. Or if you want to be super aggressive, you can go up this line and then wrap around and then watch C like I did. And then go back to B and cap and get yourself some more kills. But yeah, overall, pretty decent game. 7 ground kills, 3 air kills. But yeah, like I said, do the half sensitivity stuff that I told you about. Take less ammo. You don't want to give yourself any more reasons to die already, because there's plenty in Russian tanks. And ultimately have some game knowledge. Like, try to test things out on a map that you have, like, that you don't really know much about, and test to see if you can play a certain way. Like, a lot of maps you can play aggressive with the Russian tanks, just like how I did. What you saw today works. This is something that I learned and I always repeat it, and it leads to success for me. And combined arms. The packs are on sale. You could probably get yourself the SU-25K and plus like a campaign to make it really cheap. And you'd have a pretty decent ground attack vehicle, or sorry, a CAS is what I should say. But yeah, if you like this video, do maybe share it with any Russian players or even NATO players, because a lot of the stuff that I said here today also applies to them as well. But yeah, if the guide helped you out, do give it a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Maybe there's some other nations, because I have America, Sweden, and France all grinded out that maybe I can make guides on. But yeah, have yourselves a great day and see ya. Hey, you better like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell, otherwise Bob here is gonna get it.